Hello, everyone. Welcome to the launching episode of ClintChamSpeaks, the podcast. My name is Charmaine, and we are thrilled to announce that this is our first ever podcast where we highlight amazing success stories of visionaries, mentors, authors, speakers, and startup entrepreneurs about their STAR journey. What does STAR stands for? S for the situation that made one decide to start something. T for the task that one needs to do. A for the action taken. R for the result. Stay tuned, listen and learn as we head on to ClintChamSpeaks, the podcast. Today's guest is an international author of a best-selling book, Dare to be Happy, the happiness thinker and happiness mentor, Hoda Elsobky. Hoda Elsobky was born in Cairo, Egypt, and graduated from the American University in 1994 with a Bachelor of Arts degree. She majored in economics with a minor in business administration. Later, she received an MBA in marketing. Hoda's greatest interest lies in the fields of philosophy and positive psychology, with a focus on self-help and wellness. Above all, she's passionate about happiness as a way of living. She has worked in multinational IT companies in Egypt, like IBM and Oracle, in a sales and marketing and business development capacity from 1994 to 2005. At that point, she flew with her husband to live in Vienna for 3 years and then to Dubai. There, she discovered her passion for writing. She currently hosts an intellectual forum called Happiness Club, of whom she featured 15 authors from Passionpreneur Publishing, highlighting their book and life stories, which is also launched and presented on Hoda Elsobky's YouTube channel. She also launched recently her Everlasting Happiness webinar. As Hoda says, everlasting happiness is not impossible. This webinar carries secrets to happiness that last a lifetime. The author of the book Dare to be Happy, Hoda Elsobky, shares tips and guidelines in this webinar to help her listeners understand how they can improve the quality of their lives and be happy forever. She shares her own journey too. Her story reveals her research work and her inquisitive personality. She strongly believes every individual can find true happiness that stays forever. She also reveals methods of overcoming anxiety and stress. Everlasting Happiness webinar will add value to your life and will help you in understanding the truth about a fulfilling life of content. So that's a very complete introduction. So without any much further ado, I would like to welcome Hoda. Welcome, Hoda, to the podcast.
Hi, Charmaine. Thank you very much for this lovely introduction, which took me by surprise, and I'm so humbled to be part of the STAR journey that you initiated, and best of luck for your newly launched podcast, the ClintChamSpeaks and the STAR journey. Surely it will add a lot of valuable content to the listeners.
It's a pleasure to have you in the show. Thank you so much. So right now, we would like to start the ball rolling. So first question, what was the situation of Hoda Elsobky before writing the book Dare to be Happy? Please bring us back to your pre-author life.
Yes, Charmaine, before writing the book Dare to be Happy, I actually left the corporate world because I had to travel with my husband. We went to Vienna to live. We lived there for 3 years. And then we came to Dubai in 2008. In Dubai, I led a very quiet, good life with rich social connections, but something was always missing. I didn't know what it was, but I felt that I needed to have a more fulfilled, impactful, and meaningful life, a life with purpose. I didn't know what was missing. Is it the work life? Is it something else? But it all happened in one time that after a struggle, we had our first baby after more than 13 years of waiting.
Wow.
What happened to me is that I was so happy and I wanted to spread this happiness and this message to the whole world. I wanted to say that miracles do happen. I wanted to say that dreams do come true. And here the journey of how the book started. It didn't start immediately. But what happened is that I sat with a friend of mine and who happened to be a life coach. And we dig deep into my mind. It's like getting more clarity. It's like decluttering of your house, decluttering of your wardrobe. You try to dig deep into all the thoughts you have, what could serve you and what could not serve you, what you need to do and what really you don't need to do or to take any action in that perspective. So what I found out is that we found out that I need to do something, but to not go back to the corporate world, because I felt that I didn't use 90% of my creativity, my potential. I didn't stretch all my capabilities. So I didn't apply any out-of-the-box ideas or insight of my own. So from here, I found out that what I needed to do is to get a step back, and I decided I want to stop all this. What I can do is that I can write a book, since I have a love for the words itself. I have a love, I wanted to promote the idea of a happiness as a way of living. How can we promote this on a personal level? How can we promote it at the workplace? And here started the idea, and I took action on this perspective.
Okay, that was a very interesting point you raised over there, because as you know, a lot of career people reach the climax of the corporate world or even reach a plateau in their careers, leading to mental and emotional burnout. So what was your tipping point that made you decide what needs to be done, and what was the task you needed to do facing your life scenario? Especially, you mentioned that after a long wait of 15 years, finally you already had your child. And was this part of the consideration that you would rather focus on raising up your family and do what you are passionate to do?
Yes, thank you for the great question. Charmin, we used to go to work every day, find pressure, find stress, find toxic environment. Sometimes we find hatred and even stabbing at the back. We find relationships based on interest, not kind of meaningful, true relationship or genuine relationship. And here I took a step back, and I decided that I wanted to stop all this. And maybe I had the opportunity to see from the outside. I felt that I have a role to play in the culture of the organization. If not, I wanted to promote a better environment at the workplace. I wanted to promote the idea of happiness as a way of living. And it is not me who says so. If you follow statistics, studies, and science, the more happy the employees are, the more productive they will be. And this was proven by a 12% increase in sales in a study once done at Google. And from here, so I was always thinking, why can't we go to work feeling happy, enthusiastic, and engaged?
True.
Why don't we go to work knowing that we have impact and that we are part of the process? You know what I mean?
Agree, totally.
Here I started the initiative of starting my own workshop or masterclass as a step-by-step to reach fulfilling satisfaction and to lead a meaningful kind of life at work and on a personal level.
Interesting. So it took you time to decide and figure out what needs to be done. And so finally, of course, you already mentioned that the action that you need to do is to start writing. So how did it went through? Like, what was the initial steps or the initial actions you took to change your life course and decided to start writing your book? How did you come across Passionpreneur Publishing and started writing what you really wanted to share to the people, especially about the lifestyle of happiness?
Yes, it took, of course, a lot of time, since I had the clarity that what I want to do and my passion is to write a book. It took a lot of time. You can say it took preparations like 2 years, because I tried to first write some words about, but I knew that the subject mattered, and what interests me is happiness as a way of living. And I felt that I have all the capabilities, I have all my life journey to know how to describe and to reach happiness and the continuous kind of happiness and everlasting happiness. So I tried to go and to start to write the book. So I wrote actually 40 pages of the book without outline and without anything.
Wow.
Then I felt I got stuck. I had blockage in the flow of thinking.
Okay.
So I had to stop completely, and I put these 40 pages on the drawer.
Oh, okay.
It was there, put there for kind of one whole year. Till I found out
really?
that I need help. I need to reach out for help. And here I found this the writing retreat that it was initiated by both fashionpreneur and an Australian Natasha Denman. So I reached out for them, and then I went for the retreat. It was during the weekend.
Okay.
And when I finished this retreat, I felt I was really ready to write the book. So I took back the 40 pages that I write from the book.
Wow.
And I started to make an outline. Yes, I started to make an outline. And I had in mind the 12th chapter with their titles and what I will talk about in each chapter. Mm-hmm. And here I started again this project. I never gave up, and it took me 5 months to write again a full book of 200 pages with the outline, with the conclusion, with everything.
Interesting.
Wow. Yes, then it another 5 months to edit the book from the side of the flow of thinking and from the side of the language, the grammars, punctuation, and everything else. Wow. So it took 1 year before 2019. In December 6th December, the book was released actually in Amazon, and it had great impact since the first day everywhere.
Yes, I actually had a glimpse about what you do in social media, that you have been invited in several, I would say, TV stations, being interviewed about your writing, and especially in Dubai, there has been a clamor about people having a happy lifestyle, a happy mindset. There is even a happiness street that has been created to ensure that people are living their lives in a happy way. So your book came at the right time, at the right place, at the right moment.
I'm a bit lucky.
Congratulations. Thank you so much. So, in addition to writing your book, what led you to create the Happiness Club, the Monday Live, and now your Lasting Happiness webinar? And of course, you also mentioned earlier on the master classes, which I would want you to promote even more towards the end of the show. So, at that time, I can still vividly remember that when you started your social media initiatives, there was no tangible plan on how you would evolve, and now I am proud to say that you have metamorphosed and transitioned yourself amazingly. So tell us more about these initiatives and how it blended into your happiness niche.
Thank you very much for the question, and it is true that I started this initiative this year, and actually it was during the quarantine time, and since the COVID-19 hit us all. So we all stayed at home. I had so many ideas. I wanted to interact with people, and the only way was online. So the Happiness Club was the first. Before the Happiness Club, it was the Monday Live, which is my way of starting doing things, of saying it, adding value, and saying good morning and interacting with people.
True.
So I tackled a topic which I thought it was interesting, and on the same journey of happiness, it was just a show of about 5 minutes every Monday to start the week with. Then the idea started to become more clear to me. I decided, no, I want to have an online platform where I can brainstorm and get positive vibes in it. And here came the idea of the Happiness Club. And it came just like this. I decided, and I started to interview. I started to interview one author about his book, and then of self-help book, and then it ended up with having 15 authors, 15 books, 15 different topics.
Wow, that's an amazing feat.
The way to the happiness path.
Wow, amazing.
And it was a great success, and we had thinkers brainstorm all together, discussing many important if I might say, out-of-the-box topics that lead the way to the happiness path. This ended up by the Lasting Happiness webinar, as you said, to improve the quality of our lives and the life satisfaction, and to help people really reach a sustainable, happy, fulfilled life.
Amazing.
I wanted to say my message was to reach everyone and to tell them you can own happiness and you can sustain it. And that's how everything blended in my niche, as you said, which is to reach happiness. I wanted to say to the world that it is reachable, it is attainable, and not only that, you can own it, you can sustain it, and you can achieve it forever, and keep it yours.
Amazing. I'm so much impressed on how you evolved yourself. And I think what is important to emphasize is that you had your willpower to really start something and decide, even if it's not really that, I would say, structured enough, it's not really that stable enough, but you decided, okay, I'll do something. And then along the journey, all this came up and everything just fell into the right place. So congratulations.
Yes, you are right, Charmaine. I didn't have that much clarity, but I believe that if I have 60% of the clarity of the knowledge and of what I want to do, then this is enough to start. Because elsewhere, how will you learn? I need to jump in. I'm not barefoot feet, but I jump in. I start to learn. I start to interact, and then I practice. This is the only way to learn. And I'm not afraid of failure. Failure is the only way to learn and to grow. So that's what happened to me. I had the courage to start something I love. I had the passion, and I did it. So I can tell everyone, if he has not 80%, even 60% of what he wants to do, why not jumpstart and learn through the process?
Exactly. I totally agree with you. And in the process, you are learning as well, because in the intellectual forum that you created, which is the Happiness Club, it's actually an encounter where you're not just featuring or highlighting an author's story or an author's niche, but in the process, you're also taking an information or taking in and absorbing all these principles and inputs which you can apply to your very own life.
Exactly.
Yes, great. So next point, one of the quotes you posted in social media is from Tony Robbins that says, change happens when the pain of staying the same is greater than the pain of change. How does it resonate or reflect with you in your own experience?
Yes, I believe so much in this quote because sometimes people hate change. However, change is the only way to grow. And that was really proven, and I faced this because I wanted to change. I felt there was something missing in my life. And when the change happened, then it encompasses everything. So I stretch in all aspects of life, in my work, in my creativity, in my personal life, in my relationships, everything. So sometimes the pain of staying the same, because, I felt that I was stagnated. I left my work. I traveled with my husband. What shall I do? I don't want to get back to the corporate world, but meanwhile, I want to do something of impact. I want to work, but on my own terms. And when the change happened, before that, you had the fear of change. And it's a very difficult to take the decision to change. But once it happened, it changed completely your life.
Totally
so I believe
agree.
very much in this statement. And I always inspire people not to be afraid of change, just to make kind of feasibility study. What will we gain? What will we lose? What are the risks? What are the steps to be taken? What are the decisions? What are the actions to be taken? And at the end, it will all work out perfectly and in harmony. And that's my niche. When I am in harmony with myself, when I am true with myself, then everything falls into its right place. You say what you do, and you do what you say, and you love what you do, so everything comes natural. It's not something that you are forced to do. It is something that you love to do, and you do it naturally, and you will find yourself evolving, growing, and making great steps towards your goals and dreams.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Hoda, for raising that point, because a lot of people most people, I would say, would love to just stay in their comfort zone. They don't want to, go out and check the uncharted territories of life. But once you take the risk of, checking what is outside, then you'll be able to also increase your level of, I would say, experience in an area where you are not supposed to be so much experienced. And that is where learning comes. Yeah, so that's a very well explained point. Yeah. So the last but not the least, what is the result of all that has been done? Like intellectually, socially, personally, how did it impact you doing all that you do and the level of satisfaction you experience of doing what you love to do now?
No, sorry, I didn't get the question, Sharman.
Yes. What is the result of all that has been done? All this Monday Live, all this Happiness Club that you're doing, and recently the webinar, and now coming up with the masterclass. What is the result it offered to you on a personal level, in your own intellectual level, in your own social level? How did it impact you doing all this? And I know that these are the things which you love doing.
Yes, all this gave me life fulfillment. I got. I'm feeling that I'm leading a meaningful life, a life with purpose. I'm feeling I'm having impact. I'm so happy when I interact with people, when I have a comment to change my life, or you are right, I did so and so, I took your advice. This is all the fulfillment I can get, and I feel that the book I wrote, the platform, the online platform, the Happiness Club, the Monday Live, the webinar, and now I'm preparing the workshop. I feel that I have impact, and that's the result. The result is to be fully satisfied and fulfilled. And I think that's the true meaning of happiness.
Wow, amazing. Yeah. It's like you have been a trailblazer of what you do.
Yes, I want to add one thing at the end, is that I believe so much in the statement saying that you can achieve everything you set your mind to.
Mm-hmm.
And I recommend really a book, amazing book by Joseph Murphy, The Power of Your Subconscious Mind. I would recommend everybody to read it. In trying to understand how the mindset works, you will be really, Charmin, amazed how it works.
Wow, amazing.
Because you can do miracles by only setting your mind and changing your own thoughts, your idea to be positive.
Great.
You will be amazed at the results. Your life can change just by changing your mindset.
True. I totally agree to that. Now, for us to wrap up the show, what is your key message to our podcast audience listening to us right now, and the active steps they need to do for them to find alignment in living life with happiness? Aside from the book that you mentioned, what are the action steps that they have to start doing now so they will find alignment in terms of living a happy life?
Well, first thing, I believe you have to be true to yourself. Once you are true to yourself, you don't tell lies to yourself. What are your strengths and what are your weaknesses? And be true. Don't be ashamed that you have some weaknesses. Perhaps this is an area that you can get trained on it, or learn more about it, or make a self-development on it. For example, I've seen people who were afraid like this of public speaking. And now they're becoming the very well-known, very successful public speaker, for example.
Mm-hmm.
So there is always space to improve your skills and to learn at any age. So I tell the listeners, don't be afraid to start at any age, your passion, whatever you would like to do, whatever you would like to see yourself. Be true to yourself, and that's the first point. Because once you are true to yourself, then you will have the clarity what you need to do, what are the actions that you need to do, what are the decisions that you need to make in your life. And that's the first point. And remember that all beginnings are hard. So you just take the first step, and the second will come, and the third will come, and the fourth will come, and you will find yourself where you would like to be. So don't waste your time chasing others' dreams. Just have your own dreams and be true to yourself. What are your dreams? What do you want to achieve in your life, and what is missing in your life? And from here you can start your goals and your dreams. And I am sure that you will learn a lot through the way, or the path, or your journey to reach a kind of consistent, stable, fulfilled happiness and fulfilled life, and a meaningful one with a purpose.
Wow, amazing. I'm learning. And yes, this is actually...
I hope I can inspire, yes, your listeners and all the audience.
Exactly, and this is the very purpose of this podcast. I'm truly honored to have you as our first highlight speaker in this ClintChamSpeaks, and for sure all these inputs will remain in our hearts, and this will be applied, okay, starting from me and to the podcast audience. So thank you so much for listening. ClintChamSpeaks, the podcast. We hope that we were able to impact and inspire everyone in the sharing of Hoda Elsobky's S.T.A.R journey. Thank you so much, Hoda, for your time and your generous sharing of your story. It was indeed an engaging and meaningful conversation today. I wish you all the best in your endeavors in life. So Hoda, please promote your webinar or your masterclass that you mentioned, and your book as well, both in Arabic and English, where they can get hold of it. Come on, take it away.
Thank you, Charmin, for an amazing episode, and I wish you best of luck in all the coming episodes, and you give so much value and content to the audience. I will promote. I will just my website is www.hodaelsobky.com. Here you can find the webinar. You can find all the interviews I did, and you can buy the book as well from here or from Amazon.com. My book is called Dare to Be Happy, and in Arabic it is being translated this year during the quarantine, and its name is للسعادة وجوه أخرى. I would like also I have a YouTube channel which is Hoda Elsobky. Elsobky is one word. You can watch there all the 15 episodes of the Happiness Club. And you can follow me on Instagram, LinkedIn, and Facebook, Hoda Elsobky or Elsobky Hoda. Thank you very much, Charmin. It was amazing connecting with you today.
Thank you so much. And please tell us a little bit more about the masterclass that you're coming up with for the corporates. Can you tell us more about that?
Sure.
Okay.
Sure, Charmin. As I told you, since I felt I have a role to play in the corporate world to make a better culture, to make a better environment, and to eliminate or reduce or eliminate completely the toxic environment at work. So I have launched, I'm preparing it right now, and took the initiative to make a step-by-step system. It is my own metrics that I put. It is called the happiness metrics for successful executives, and it is tailored mainly for the CEOs, all the executive successful leaders, how to promote a healthy, happy life, and thus to become more productive at work and on a personal level, of course.
Okay,
so I'm preparing
great.
this, and the launch will be soon.
Okay, so there's no link yet for them to be able to see this, because you are still going to be launching it very soon. Great. So please stay, keep in touch, and let's stay tuned for Hoda's masterclass, especially for those CEOs listening out there who wanted to upgrade, I would say, the happiness factor among their internal customers, who are the employees. Yeah, so looking forward to that. So it's a pleasure, Hoda, to have you in this launching podcast. I am eternally grateful for this. In life, there's always a story to tell out of people's failures, struggles, and aha moments. Let us learn and apply the principles to make our lives worth living. I would like to leave our podcast listeners a key message from Hoda Elsobky's Tea Talks quote: "Wonders happen by just being true to yourself." This is Charmaine from ClintChamSpeaks. Stay tuned for another insightful talk in the podcast. More power and God bless.